Never give up on yourself, even when you're at rock bottom and everything feels impossible. Remember, not too long ago, Georgina Rodríguez was in that same place, working retail, counting every paycheck, wondering if her life would ever change. And yet, everything did. Not because she was lucky, but because she kept showing up when no one was watching. She wasn't born special. She just refused to give up on herself. Because where you are now doesn't define where you'll end up. Georgina grew up in a small Spanish town, raised by a single mother after her father was imprisoned for drug trafficking. Her mom worked any job she could find, cleaning houses, babysitting, anything to keep food on the table. From an early age, Georgina learned that no one was coming to save her. Her dream was to become a ballerina, but her family couldn't afford lessons. So as soon as she was old enough, she started working, waitressing, cleaning, doing whatever she could to help her family. And that's what makes her so real. She didn't come from privilege or comfort. Like so many of us, she faced tough circumstances she never asked for, but she never let them define her. She's proof that your past doesn't determine your future, as long as you keep showing up for yourself, even when no one's watching. At just 17, Georgina left Spain for England to work as a nanny because she wanted to learn English. She knew that learning the language would open new doors for her. So that's exactly what she did. She made the most of her time in England, learning as much as she could before returning to Spain. When she got back, she moved on from waitressing and cleaning jobs and started working in luxury retail. Her first job was at Massimo Dutti, but she didn't stop there. She had higher standards for herself and kept going until she finally landed a job at Gucci, one of the world's most exclusive fashion brands. And even though she seemed to be surrounded by luxury, her reality was far from it. At the time, she was living in a converted storage room with no heating and no air conditioning. But still, every day, she showed up to work poised, refined, and graceful, never letting her circumstances define her. And isn't that where so many of us find ourselves today? In that quiet, invisible phase where you feel unseen, overlooked, maybe even like a failure. But what feels like punishment is often preparation. Those invisible years are building your foundation for what's next. Georgina's story reminds us to keep showing up, even when no one sees you, because one day they will. In 2016, Georgina was 22, working a regular shift at the Gucci store in Madrid. It wasn't her best day. She was tired, she'd been on her feet since opening, and the store was about to close when Cristiano Ronaldo walked in. She had no idea that moment would change her life. Even though she was exhausted and ready to go home, she stayed present. She didn't feel her best, she didn't look her best, but she showed up anyway. She treated him like she would any other customer, respectful and polite. It wasn't planned. It was just another shift, another day she decided to show up. She didn't flirt, she didn't chase, she was just herself. Polite, sincere, grounded. And that's what caught his attention. And here's the thing we can learn from her. Opportunities rarely show up when you feel ready. When they crossed paths, she didn't have on her best outfit or fresh makeup. She was exhausted from standing on her feet all day. But that's exactly how life works. Opportunities don't appear when you're perfectly prepared. They appear when you've already become the kind of woman who shows up anyway. From there, they became inseparable. But here's what most people misunderstand about her. It wasn't meeting him that changed her life. It was the woman she had already become before that moment. She had made intentional choices all along the way because she always believed she was meant for more. Had she not challenged herself, had she not believed in her potential, she might have stayed working as a housekeeper or waitress, but she didn't. Even in the messy, hard middle phase, she never stopped showing up. She always knew she was meant for more, and she lived like it, long before anyone else could see it. When their relationship became public, everything changed overnight. The girl who used to serve coffee and fold clothes was suddenly being photographed, judged, and criticized by millions. She lost her job at Gucci. She was thrown into a whole new world. And at first, she stumbled. People mocked how she dressed. They called her tacky, said she didn't belong. But instead of letting that destroy her, she used it. She studied. She learned etiquette, languages, how to carry herself with confidence. She evolved, not perfectly, not instantly, but consistently. And that takes real courage, because transformation isn't glamorous. It's uncomfortable. It's messy. And it's full of moments where you wonder if you even deserve the new life you're stepping into. But she kept going anyway. Even after all the fame, Georgina faced one of the hardest things a woman ever can, losing one of her newborn twins in 2022. It reminded the world that success doesn't protect you from pain. But the same strength she built in her early years, the resilience, the faith, the discipline, that's what carried her through it. She didn't disappear. She didn't let grief define her. She chose to keep living, to keep showing up for her family, for herself. Georgina didn't change her life because she was perfect. She changed it because she was persistent. She kept showing up in storage rooms, in retail uniforms, in silence, till life finally met her halfway. So if you're watching this right now, if you're working a job you hate, if you feel behind, if you're rebuilding from scratch, remember this: you're not stuck. You're being shaped. Every time you show up with integrity, even when no one notices, you're aligning yourself with the life you're meant to live. Keep showing up, because your life can change on an ordinary day, and it will, if you believe it's not over. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and a comment if you'd like to see more deep dives like this one.